with me, Iman Muhammad. Let's revise some words. Choose the correct answer. Number 1. Space is a sport you can do on water. Windsurfing, snorkeling, scuba diving, and karate. Of course, windsurfing is the correct answer. Snorkeling is a kind of sport that you can practice underwater using special equipment. Number 2, a space hostel is an inexpensive place where young people can stay. A youth hostel. 3, the space along the Red Sea took a month. Flight, picnic, camp, voyage. The correct answer is voyage. Voyage is short trip or long one by the sea. Flight is a trip or journey by air. Many tourists use a space to learn about cities and places to visit. They use, of course, guidebook. The tourists who were space thank the guide. Who were lost, they lost their way. Egypt is full of space buildings. Of course, Egypt is full of historical buildings. Historical means very, very old. What's the meaning of historian? He is the person who is writing history. Number 7, you'd better space early. After the expression had better comes the infinitive without to. You'd better sleep early. I recommend that he stays, will stay at home. Of course, I will use stay. After recommend, when there is a sentence, it must contain infinitive. He stay at home. Number 9, I wait for the train to stop. Should I wait for the train to stop? If you use are, you are going to add ing to the verb. What would you say in the following situations? Your friend wants to get high marks. Advise him. What are rules for giving advice? Should plus infinitive. You have better plus infinitive. I advise you to plus infinitive. My advice to you is to plus infinitive. Number 1, I advise you to revise well. You should revise well. You are asked about a recommendation for a story. I recommend reading Black Beauty. I recommend that you read Black Beauty. You suggest going to the bazaar. What about going to the bazaar? Let's go to the bazaar. Shall we go to the bazaar? You suggest going to the bazaar. What about going to the bazaar? Let's go to the bazaar. Rewrite, you should study hard. Advice with C. My advice to you is to study hard. What about going to the zoo? Why? Why don't we go to the zoo? And this expression is from the suggestion. Why don't we go to the zoo? What about going to the zoo? What is the best place to buy souvenirs? Is there a good place to buy souvenirs? The last sentence is for asking for recommendations. What is the best place to? Is there a good place to? What do you recommend? Do you recommend that place? And so on. So if I want to ask about recommendations or ask for recommendations, what is the best place to? What is the best program to? Is there a good place to? Is there a good program to? What do you recommend? Do you recommend watching plus any program? What about the answer? I recommend plus verb ing, noun or sentence using infinitive. I recommend visiting the cinema. I recommend that you visit the cinema. I recommend the cinema. Let's revise making suggestions. How about what about plus verb ing? What about watching TV? Let's watch TV. Shall we watch TV? Why don't we watch TV? Thank you.